Good morning, students. Today we are going to explain about the first chapter of the 12th class, that is solid state. This is very important chapter related to the CBSE board as well as the entrance examination. Let's start. What are the different components of the solid and what are the different topics which we are going to include in this chapter. That is first introduction part of the chapter of the solid. That is in that particular topic we will explain about the what are different types of the solid and what are the different components of the solid. Then we proceed the internal structure of the solid. So let's start the introduction part. What is solid? Definitely all already discussed or understood about the solid. The solid is a substance, this is the state of the matter which has fixed volume and fixed shape. You must read about this introduction part in the previous chapter, in the previous class also, whether it is 9th, 10th or 11th. Then if we consider the category of the solid, the entire types of the solid present of the nature, we can classify this into two parts. The first one is amorphous and crystalline solid. Amorphous and crystalline solid. What are the basic difference between both amorphous and crystalline? That we are going to explain. If you distinguish both types of the solid, how can we identify which one is the amorphous solid? The amorphous solid has a range of melting point. That means what? Amorphous solid melts at the range of the melting point, means it starts melting from any one point and ends melting up to the next point of the melting temperature. And what is crystalline solid? Crystalline solid melts at the sharp melting point. What is the meaning of sharp melting point? If you take the example of the sodium chloride, if you heat the sodium chloride in any container, you will see initially there is no change at the physical state. I am not talking about the chemical, but physical state, there is no change. And instantly, whenever that NaCl reaches their melting point, it starts melting, it vigorously melts together. Okay? But if you take the example about the amorphous solid, if you take the example about the plastic starts melting, or if you take another example of the butter chalk, when you put in the frying pan, what will happen? It starts melting, and up to maximum temperature it ends melting, right? What is the second point through which we can identify the amorphous and crystalline solid? Amorphous solid has not fixed arrangement, but in crystalline solid have fixed arrangement. What is the meaning of the fixed arrangement? If you consider this is the part of the solid, if this is crystalline solid, if you consider towards the diagonal or towards any cross section, at a fixed number of any sphere, I am talking about a sphere. A sphere means it could be atom or ions, anything. The fixed amount of sphere present in entire range of any cross section. Okay, this is called crystalline. But in case of amorphous, there will be no any fixed number, no any fixed arrangement. This is how you can distinguish the amorphous and crystalline. What is third point? Amorphous solid can be cut with knife but not smooth surface. But if you talk about the crystalline solid, it gives smooth surface when cut with knife. Understand? What is next and last point through which we can distinguish between the amorphous and crystalline? The last point is it has short range order. And it has long range order. What is the meaning of the short range and long range? If you again think about this example, if it is amorphous solid, if you take the 1 centimeter or 1 millimeter cross section area, okay, if you consider there is the same type of arrangement in 1 millimeter or same type of arrangement in another 1 millimeter, that will be the crystalline. But in case of the amorphous, the arrangement will be changed. That's why this is called short range order. Means at every short range, at every short distance, the arrangement changes, and at every sort of distance, the arrangement never be changed. That's why this is called the long range order. Okay, so this is all about. You can understand what is the amorphous solid, what is the crystalline solid. Let's think about the live example. If you think about this chalk, what is this? This is crystalline or amorphous? What do you think? This is crystalline solid. And what about this? This is amorphous solid. How can we understand? There are two experiments through which we can understand the substance is amorphous or crystalline. You can melt or take it under melting point. It melts at the range of the melting point, it melts at sharp melting point. If you cut with knife, it gives the smooth surface, it gives the rough surface. So through which we can identify whether the substance is amorphous or crystalline. Okay? Moving forward. Next. If you think about the crystalline solid, because we will discuss in entire chapter in detail the crystalline solid, because amorphous solid is just for the study of the comparison between the crystalline and amorphous. The crystalline solid, there are different categories of the crystalline solid, and when we start the categorization of this crystalline solid, we are taking some scale, like we are going to take some specific scale through which we can identify whether this kind of the crystalline solid or this kind of the crystalline solid. It could be, first one is constituent particle. We can classify on the basis of the constituent particle. We can take conductivity. Conductivity, I am talking about the electrical conductivity. We can classify on the basis of this. Melting point, I am categorized with the help of the melting point, low or high. Fourth one is state. I am not talking about the physical state. I am talking about in that particular state whether that particular crystalline solid is soft, hard or medium. So on these basis we can classify. There are different types of the crystalline solid. What are the different types? The first one is, now the classification. The first classification is molecular solid. What is molecular solid? Molecular solid means crystalline solid made by molecules. That is called molecular solid. That means the first constituent particle, the first stage, the constituent particle, that will be molecule. The second one is, what is conductivity? If you think about the conductivity, this is the bad conductor. Third, if you think about the melting point is low and high both. Fourth, if you think about the state, the physical state, it could be soft or hard, both. The molecular solid may be soft or may be hard. Further, molecular solid can also be classified on the basis of the softness or hardness or any other constituent particle. But there are different types of the molecular solid also. If you think about the molecular solid, there are different classifications of the molecular solid. The first one is polar molecular solid. The first one is polar molecule. What is the meaning of the polar? If any compound contains the partial charge, that's property is the polarity. This is polar. Okay? Now, how can we identify whether the molecule is polar molecular solid or not? If you think about that particular compound contains the partial charge or not. On the basis of that, we can identify whether the molecule is polar or non-polar. So if you think according to that, these different scale we can identify, of course, constituent particle, molecular solid, that may be the molecule, but polar molecule. Conductivity, that will be bad conductor. Melting point is high. State, hard and soft both. Example, we have to understand about the example. The solid HCl. If you consider the HCl, whenever we consider the HCl, we put in mind as a liquid, but it could be solid. If you take it the particular temperature, it could be solid. If you think about the solid HCl, it will be the polar molecule, because HCl is a polar molecule itself. Why? Because Cl is electronegative. That's why the partial negative and partial positives are developed from that. That is why this is the example of the polar molecular solid. If you think in second types of molecular solid, that is non-polar molecular solid. Non-polar molecular solid. As the name is a non-polar, of course, the constituent particle will be non-polar molecule. And what about conductivity? Conductivity is the bad conductor. What about melting point? Melting point is low. State, it's soft. It's soft molecular solid. And what about the example? Example is solid iodine, I2. This is the best example of the non-polar molecular solid. And the third point and last point of the category of the molecular solid, that is hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Hydrogen bonded molecular solid. Molecular solid. This is the last point. Constituent particle, polar molecule, polar molecule. Conductivity, that is bad. Melting point, low. State, hard. And one thing I should also discuss about the force of attraction between the constituent particle in the entire range of the category of the solid. That is force of attraction. Force of attraction is hydrogen bond. And example is solid water. And what is solid water? Solid water is ice. This is the best example of the hydrogen bonded molecular solid, and that's why ice is a very hard, because hydrogen bond is very hard. If you think about the non-polar molecular solid, force of attraction will be dispersion force. And if you think about the polar molecular solid, the force of attraction will be dipole-dipole interaction. Okay? And you must understand or learn about the dipole-dipole interaction in the 11th class, chapter number 5. Okay? So these are the different types of the molecular solid. The first part of the crystalline solid. Next one, the second part of the crystalline solid, that is ionic solid. Second part is ionic solid. Again, we have to take these different kinds of the scale. The first one is constituent particle. Constituent particle of the ionic solid, that is ions. Force of attraction. Force of attraction will be ionic bond. Melting point is high. State is generally hard, and conductivity is bad conductor. All types of the solid are bad conductor except one, that will be, I will explain in detail. The second and third part, that is metallic solid. What is metallic solid? Constituent particle is metal cation and electron. If you think about the force of attraction, force of attraction is metallic bond. Melting point is high. Metal has high melting point, you already know. States soft and hard both. Generally metal is hard, but numbers of metal are soft also. If you think about the alkaline or the metal, alkali metal, the first group and second group metal, those are the soft. And if you think about the conductivity, what is conductivity? Conductivity is very good. Only this kind of the crystalline solid or only this kind of the solid even on the earth surface is good conductor. Except next one is also, one exception is also there. And last part of the solid, that is covalent solid. Constituent particle, atom, neutral atom is also. Force of attraction, force of attraction is covalent bond, obviously because covalent solid is there. Then melting point is high and low both. State, soft and hard both, and conductivity is bad conductor, but except one, that is graphite. Graphite being a covalent solid, despite of that, this is a good conductor of electricity, but the reason of that particular conductivity is another. There is no any free electron in that, but in case of the graphite, you already studied in the 11th class, the layers of the carbon cycle slips and conduct electricity. That's why this is the good conductor. Otherwise, rest all entire covalent solid are bad conductor. Okay. Now, these are the different types of crystalline solid that we have already explained in detail. These are the different introduction part of the solid. Now we have to start the next part, that is components of the solid, and I'll explain in next video. Thank you very much.